I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for it.
Well, that's the way she goes, boys. Week 1 is in the books, and here we are with our first recap for House Rules Fantasy Football League. Let's just get right into it. I mean, if you want to look at this, we had a lot of great matchups. Of course, we had some people really fall down on us, but it's okay because moving forward, we have a very long season, and it's going to be awesome. So let's take a look at some of our key Week 1 matchups, starting off with Dr. Football and the Dungan and Dragon Tails. Mike squeaked this one out. 83.22 points going against 82.86. That is a cunt hair away from losing. His main provider here was Lamar Jackson at 23.22 points, and Brett only got 23.26 from Justin Herbert. Both of them had people just really let them down, mostly for Mike. I mean, Tony Pollard, didn't really know what to expect, but Allen Robinson really shit the bed along with CeeDee Lamb. Of course, with Dak going down, who knows what that's going to lead up into the rest of the season. And then Brett really fell short. Lockett really didn't do much. And then, of course, Robert Woods was very abysmal, getting less than 2 points. So tough luck for those two. But Mike, congratulations on the win. And let's look at our next matchup. The He-She's going against our champion touchdown there. Gabe had Jalen Hurts really put up some really good points. Of course, he had some unexpected players who kind of really didn't take off. Derrick Henry, for one, getting less than 10 points, with Hilliard really kind of taking the ball for that team. But Gabe finishing out at 95.72, and then Paul taking that win at 104.72. Paul had great showing. Saquon Barkley came out of nowhere. I guess this is really the Saquon everybody expected to see the last couple years, but barring having all those injuries, Saquon had a day, 33.4 points. And then, of course, A.J. Brown for the Philadelphia Eagles, that wide receiver there, is going to take over with Jalen Hurts throwing him the ball. So tough luck, Gabe, and you're going to have a rough week too, but here we go. Going on to the next matchup, Kamara's Fight Club getting the win over Beasel's Vaccines. Alex really did just kind of had a lucky break here with Jerry Jeudy getting that big touchdown in the middle of the game and really not doing much else. And then Michael Pittman, 26.6 points. Flynn, DeAndre Swift had 29 points, but really nobody else on his team besides Jamar Chase did anything else. I mean, Tom Brady sitting there with less than 11 points. That's got to be a letdown. Well, let's hope this isn't a trend for you, and let's see what happens with some of those adjustments and waiver wire pickups going into week 2. We have Captain Winky, Brett over there pulling out a loss, 117.48, getting taken down by Quay, 50 pinball with 120 points even. Quay had Devontae Adams and Cordero Patterson really put up some nice numbers there for him. And then, of course, Brett, I mean, he had a bold draft strategy. Josh Allen, 34.48. That is effing ridiculous. And then Jonathan Taylor at 29.5. So Brett has a great team putting up some big numbers, but can we get everybody to put it together when it really counts? Well, myself here fell just short. Russell Wilson, I blame Hackett. I blame Hackett for this loss by not letting Russell Wilson take the ball with 45 seconds left. Instead, you squander away a bunch of time on the clock, call that freaking timeout, and then McManus for a 64-yard field goal. Anyways, much better people than myself have discussed this all week already. It was a bad decision. Anyways, I blame Hackett for this match. I lost 121.2 to 123.4 to Tier Does Not So. John had Patrick Mahomes put 36.9 points on the board. Other than that, his team didn't do too much. I mean, Ahmad St. Brown, Jalen Waddle, they got over 15. However, it just wasn't very that consistent. And if my team, Travis Kelce went off, he did a great job. Russell Wilson needed a couple more points to give me that win. And some solid performances. But, Mike Williams, you figure with Keenan Allen going down, Mike Williams would have got the ball more, but he shit the bed for me, leaving only 2 points on the board. I should have started the Jets running back. Anywho, we're on to the second week. Now, our match of the week ended up being Devontae List and Smash. Christian and Vic had a great matchup. 124.46 versus 129.62. Vic took the win here. His top players, Cooper Kupp, of course. Cooper Kupp's going to put up those numbers. I know Vic was kind of skeptical about taking a wide receiver in his first round, but hey, pulled off 29.3 points. Joe Burrow 19.22, and that's even with the 4 interceptions. So Joe Burrow could have been up there almost at 30 points, but those those kind of didn't help you out, but he still got the win because, well, Christian had Dak, and we all know how that is. Dude had 4.46 points. Ezekiel Elliott, 5.4. I mean, it was just a rough showing all the way for Christian, but he did have Stephon Diggs put up 29 points, and then, of course, you had Justin Jefferson at 38.9. So we definitely had some people here putting up high numbers in week one. Just nobody really got everything to combine together, but congratulations on our 6 players who got their wins and are going undefeated into week 2. Let's see how much that changed. So to recap this is our standings. Victor is in first place with a commanding 129.62 points. Great showing to Vic. Give him a round of applause. It's going to be short-lived. Tier does not so in second place, along with Quay coming in third place at 50 pinball. Camara's Fight Club's in fourth. Paul, our reigning champion, is in 5th place. Dr. Football, Mike Grace, is over there at the 6th place. Devontae Liz Christian at 7. Myself hitting up 8th place. Then we have Captain Winky at 9th. We have the Beazles Vaccine at 10, the Hishis at 11, and then Brett English with the Dunganon Dragon Tail sitting there at last place. A little rough. Now, we do have some trophies that we would like to give out for this year. Each week, we have a little thing that we can look back on. So let's look at Devontae List. He has 3 trophies this week. First trophy being the Unreal Combination. This trophy is awarded for the fantasy team with the highest scoring 2-player combination each week among starters, and he had Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs. Combined, they put up over 68 points. So that's a deadly combination. Let's watch out for that this year. He also has the Above and Beyond, and this is awarded for the weekly fantasy team that outperforms their projected points. I think initially Christian was scheduled to lose by over 20, but he broke up that difference and valued over 20.68 points above his projected totals. And Christian, once again, is sitting here with the top player of the week with Justin Jefferson pulling in that 38.9, highest point total for the week in our league. Now, Brett English, Duncan and Dragon Tails, is sitting there with the highest scoring bench. I mean, hey, at least your bench is doing work. He left 21.66 points just with Jameis Winston sitting on the bench. I mean, but who knew if he was going to come out and be what we wanted him to be, or if he was just going to be, eating W's. But hey, now you know you got a good starting quarterback. And then he also has the poor coaching decision. He left a total of 68.26 points on his bench. Now, that's kind of good and bad because if you look at it one way, he has players on his bench putting up points. So, thing to look out for Mr. Brett there in last place. I don't think he's going to stay there long. Now, let's go into looking at our week 2 matchups. Our week 2 matchups, we are starting off here with Captain Winky. Brett is going against John. Tier does not so. Now, John is projected to win right now, 115.72 against 99.67. Our next matchup is going to be our reigning champion, Paul, touchdown there, going against Christian's Devontae List. Christian right now is 98.54 projected. We'll see if he makes some roster moves to kind of make up that 10-point difference of 108.81 projected by our reigning champion. Dr. Football is coming in next, going against Alex and Camara's Fight Club. Right now, Alex is projected 103.73 to go against Dr. Football's 96.26. So once again, a couple adjustment moves. We'll see how everybody worked on those waiver wires and what changes you are going to make to your roster. Our next matchup for week 2 is going to be Quay at 50 pinball against the Beazles Vaccines. Right now, this is 112.13 going against 100.16 in Quay's favor. So you might want to get out there, Flynn, if you don't want to be sitting on the altar by yourself again. We already know. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Now, our close matchup here. It looks like Vic might be in the heartbreaking situation here this week, or at least every week he might have a little cardiac arrest because he's in another projected close matchups against, well, I was just talking about Brett English and the Duncan and Dragon Tails. So Smash is projected 109.31. And Duncan and Dragon Tails is projected 109.39. That is a 0.08 difference is projected scores. So this is going to be a close matchup to see what happens here. First place, last place. Let's see if we might meet in the middle and have a nice little 6th and 7th. Who knows? We'll see what happens this week. And then myself, Touch of Downs, going against Gabe's Hishis. And I'm really glad that Gabe really came out with this. I mean, we all know that he's had some tendencies. So congratulations, Gabe. Be able to open up and really let your feminine side out. we're behind you. We support anything that you do. Right now, Gabe is projected at 96.44, and your fearless leader touchdowns 110.77. So Gabe, we do support you, but not this week. So we're just going to see what happens. Now, with that being said, that means we look back at last week. We have looked at what's upcoming. It is Wednesday, so make sure you get all your lineups set before Thursday night. Tomorrow, we do have the Kansas City Chiefs going against the LA Chargers, so it's going to be an exciting matchup. And then we're going to go into Sunday where it's a whole day of football. And man, this is amazing. I'm so glad that we have football back. Gives us something to do. I mean, I've been on the, betting apps too with like FanDuels and MGM and everything like that, putting in a little bets, $2 long shots, hoping something pays off. But it's fun, man. Glad that football's back. I'm glad we got our fantasy league going. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the show. Until then, best of luck to everybody. And we'll see what happens this upcoming week.
Coming for me, hope you're ready for it.